and welcome to the Future Republic. I'm your host, James Salazar. I am a futurist and an identity redesign specialist. I help people create a more powerful intellect and identity to compete in this new futuristic economy. As you know, we're starting a new series about what futurism is all about, and we're talking right now in this segment called emerging technologies. And one of the emerging technologies today we're going to talk about is biotechnology. The merging of biology and technology. Pretty much in the word, right? So my hope here as we discuss these emerging technology is for you to either get educated into it, maybe take a career and be in the front lines in this cutting edge technology. Maybe you would want to invest in certain things that are involved in biotechnology, certain corporations and what they're doing. Maybe you want to be a supporting business to these biotechnologies and make a lot of money, like the people who make the rivets for spaceships. They just make millions of dollars just supplying one little small piece to the big puzzle of space exploration. Same thing with biotechnology. There's certain things that you could be someone or be a part of something that's creating incredible things with biotechnology, or you can be a business that supports some kind of tubing, some kind of whatever, and you can make a very good living from it. So as we talk about these emerging technologies, this biotechnology, take them down. See what you can invest in the stock market, or maybe some startups that you want to get on the ground floor with. This is the reason why I want to give you. And at the very end of the day, when we're talking about biotechnology, we're going to be talking about things that it has human life. And maybe you might need those things because your health is failing. And these emerging technologies, these emerging cures are just around the corner. So let's get into some of the stuff that biotechnology is into. So one of the very first things is biosensors, putting a sensor into your body. Now, right now we have that for blood glucose monitoring and blood pressure and beats per minute. But we're eventually going to go into oxygen in your blood, being able to tell what viruses are in your blood, track your sugar levels, track your blood pressure. You will be able to have all this information at your fingertips with your iPhone or your iWatch or some kind of connecting technology. Biosensors is going to pretty much cut out a lot of the lab time that goes into when you go into the emergency room when something's wrong. They just pull it from your phone and say, oh, their blood pressure is at this level, their beats per minute at this is very high, the oxygen level is in their blood they might have is really low, so they might have COVID. All the sugars are too high. You got to put down that freaking cheesecake, whatever it may be. These biosensors, we will be able to have so much information about ourselves that, there's a lot of time wasted. And imagine a world where your sensors tell your doctors that they need to send this antibiotic to you or this high blood pressure, and it just comes in the mail. So, biosensors, it is a major player in human health. Also, the next industry is 3D bioprinting. Right now, we can print skin for burn patients or people who was born with skin abnormalities. Almost got that word down. And but the Holy Grail is printing organs, and we're doing that in like mice right now. We're livers and hearts and pieces of the brain. We're bioprinting them, and especially the brain is pretty fantastic. They put they cut out that portion of the brain for whatever it's used for, and they replace it with a biotechnological 3D printed portion of that brain, and the mouse seems to take it and use it like if it was really part of its brain. But the holy grail of this is being able to, with your own DNA, create and bioprint, a 3D print, a new heart, new lungs, new eyes, new liver. This will expand humans' life by countless tolls. We're looking at a 20 to 30 year jump in longevity and life statistics. So 3D printing, I mean, imagine you don't need to wait for a donor. It just takes 24 hours to grow your heart and 3D print it. And they place it in you and your body accepts it because it's part of your own DNA, made from your cells. It's a brave new world. We are just coming into these amazing things. We won't need to get a heart transplant from a pig anymore and start orking around. We're going to have our own hearts 3D printed with our DNA, with our cells, with gene editing, and put it in, get a new corazón, new lungs. That's amazing. That is an amazing thing, and that is coming. Look for the businesses, because whoever comes out first, that is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business to invest in or to be a part of. So 3D bioprinting, skin, organs, it's the wave of the future. Bioplastics. Right now we have a big problem. We don't like plastics. Everything in this room right now is made of plastic, and it's not going to biodegrade. But right now we are creating things that are plastic-like, but they biodegrade. And the society is ready, because of the misuse of plastics and seeing plastics from like 10 years ago not biodegrading one bit. People are willing to probably pay a little bit more for these new technologies where we can have like what looks like a plastic bottle, but it's not. It biodegrades. It's a different thing. But for the lack of a better word, we just say it's a plastic bottle. So biotechnology, bioplastics, these things will derive from plants and algae and minerals. And we'll be able to create these things that when we throw it away, after 3 or 4 years, if they're left out, they biodegrade into the ground. And not hurt the ground, and not hurt the environment. So we're coming out with these new types of materials that are better for our environment and better for our lives. So bioplastics, bioenergy. This will also be derived from plants and algae, where we start to pull chemicals, not really chemicals, but form these different type of things from algae and plants into a fuel that can be used just like gas. There's some that have flex fuel cars out there that use a little bit of both, but we're fine-tuning even more, and we're looking for even our power grid to be run by biofuels and bioenergy. These algae and plants that just produce energy within itself. It may take whole landfills, but our footprint is less because we are no longer destroying the environment from fossil fuels. And gene editing, where we genetically reprogram inherited disorders and diseases. We're able with new technologies right on the cusp, within 5 to 10 years, we're going to be able to get somebody who's already had the disease. Now, we're not talking about your future generations, and cut it out through genetic editing, and that person will begin to be cured. Going into, the code that God has built and cutting things out. Testing, teaching genes to fight complex diseases, delay, and even stopping aging. This gene editing is the holy grail of living for a long time. CRISPR is one of the 4 leading companies who created a technique called CRISPR, but they're sort of the same name. And they're able to quickly create cells to mimic animals and be able to test those models really quick. And we're able to test things a lot faster now, like diseases like cancer and mental illness, and create these rapid diagnostic tools to just make disease treatment cheaper. Gene editing is the way of the future. If you want to be at the front line of curing people, you gotta be into gene editing, or at least invest in it. And then we got virtual and augmented reality, and that's pretty much just changing out your shitty eyes and putting in a biotechnological eye that can be used as virtual or augmented reality. See different shades of the atmosphere, of the spectrum. Imagine having your eyes be able to cut out the light pollution. You can see the stars when you live in like someplace like Los Angeles. Imagine being able to, because when you have those VR glasses, the technology's in the front of the VR glasses. Imagine we take that technology and put it into a contact or put it into an eye, and you can switch into augmented reality immediately. I also taught I have a video where I talk about perfect capitalism, where augmented reality will give us, we will be the most informed customers in human history, and we'll be able to see people and have data, like the Terminator. That's John Connor, killed John Connor, whatever. But augmented reality in our own eyes is the wave of the future. Imagine sitting down and say, okay, and switching over in your brain somehow, and you're in a virtual meeting. You don't need no glasses. Maybe you just want to do one eye. Watch Scooby-Doo and decide in the virtual meeting. You never know. Brave new world. Bioagriculture. Farmers and stuff. Sustainable ways to fight hunger without destroying the environment, modifying foods to be healthier for us, dealing with our personal ailments as humans, improve plant growth, animal breeding, developing microorganisms for special agricultural use, just keep us from poisoning ourselves and in the short and long term, as well as the environment. Bioagriculture is how we're going to feed the world properly. Americans, we're gluttons, but the rest of the world are struggling to eat. And bioagriculture is the wave of the future, to save our environment, to have a less impact trying to feed more people. That's a difficult goal. Environmental biology. So since the Industrial Revolution, we needed to go through it, but we kicked the earth while it was down, and now we have built the technology where we're able to reverse the damage that we made with pollution in the air, pollution in the water, pollution in the ground. We can create bacterias, microbes that can start eating away at and biodegrade these things that couldn't be biodegraded before, like plastics and toxins in the air, because of the Industrial Revolution. Environmental biology is the key to heal our land. Natural, sustainable, biological answers to toxins and pollution. And coming close here, close to the end, biomedicines, pharmaceutical medicines specifically created for your biology. You know, when you go to the emergency room, they're going to give you some antibiotics that deals with a disease for everybody, but they don't know if you're going to have a allergic reaction. They don't know if it's going to work for you. But now they'll be able, with artificial intelligence and gene editing, to find the specific medicines that will fix you or create it. It might be a combination of things that create the most special pill for you. Instead of using a blunt instrument, we're using a scalpel towards your health. Medical techniques advanced by artificial intelligence. Medicine specifically made for you. Biomedicines. This is going to be the wave of the future, dealing with people. Everything is, we're putting less chemicals and finding better ways to make better medicines to help us heal better. So I'm going to go with the last one. It's artificial meat. This is biotechnology. And this is going to be one that's going to be hard to get the people to buy. And I don't know if it's going to work, but some people are going to have to be tricked, probably. But if they can create a ribeye steak from a petri dish, and I won't know the difference, it ain't going to affect me any different, then maybe we can kill less cows. I'm a carnivore. Though I love animals, I don't think they're better. I don't think they're more important than us. They're important to the environment. But you know, Americans stick their head in the ground on how many animals are slain for our consumption, and right now we really have no answers to it, but this is, and there's going to be a big pushback. But if we can create meat that tastes just as good and is just as nourishing and healthy as a real steak from the cow's body, there's no, like that Impossible Burger thing tastes like shit. I don't care what anybody says. And it's full of grease and it's bad for you. That can't happen with meat. It's got to have the same nutritional impacts. The same nutritional impacts as eating a perfectly cooked, medium rare ribeye. And taste the same and look the same. If you can do that, then there might be some hope for the genocide of chickens and bison and cows being killed for human consumption. But that's biotechnology, and that's coming. We're going to be offered it, and they're going to make you feel like a moral monster if you don't eat it. Prepare for all that. Maybe we'll get in a subject about the cons of all these things. But today I just wanted to run through all the emerging technologies with biotechnology. And hopefully you've been inspired by some of these things that are happening, that maybe you want to put your foot in and get into it, maybe learn it, open a business that does it, get an education, be a scientist and a researcher to do it, or invest in companies so they're successful at doing it. Whatever it may be, this is the future. It's a brave new world, and what part are you going to play into it? Don't stick your head into the ground. Don't. These are things that will help the world. You can help the world, and you can make a profit while doing it. So this is James signing out of Emerging Technologies. Tomorrow we're going to next week we're going to talk about robotics. So until then, my friends, this is James signing out of the Future Republic.